tell you people, do you know this thing? If you don't want us to call it Christian genocide, I can call it what I call Fulanization, and it's Buhari game. And I'll bring you people into why it's Buhari game. Many of us don't think, but I won't say anything more, but I just want to give you people a kind of thinking that you need to think. Follow me step by step. How did all these things started? It started because they want to flush Jonathan out of the government. Flush Jonathan out of the government for who? For Buhari. It started in Borno State and Katsina State, a closed state. Abi? So Buhari wants to come in. And who is this Buhari? Buhari is a grand patron for Fulanize. Yes, they want a Fulani person to come. And immediately Buhari came, after they have succeeded, bring these people in. Flush Jonathan, they bring the Buhari. What was the first thing Buhari do? Buhari set up a scheme. To do what? To accommodate the penitent Boko Haram into what? Into Nigerian military. Am I lying? Are you guys not aware of that? Does not even tell you anything? Now, since Buhari set up that repentant Boko Haram to be brought back into Nigerian military, that is when they start ambushing Nigerian military. Because they already have informants inside them. Anytime Nigerian military, they will ambush them because somebody is feeding the information. And these are part of the Buhari plan. By bringing what? By bringing repentant Boko Haram. They are not repentant. They are just informants. And but Buhari signed it to law and bring them. And after that, I still be so you know, Buhari knows that through the constitution of licensing a firearm, that the south part of Nigeria could be able to acquire firearm legally to defend themselves. He does what? He removed licensing of firearm to make them defenseless. The same Buhari did that. I said that is not enough. Buhari made those that he retired a lot of chief army staffs. He retired a lot of the seniors. And retired them, not them, he retired them compulsorily just to go back to another Fulani person that will lead, which is Bruce High. The same Buhari did it. So what are you guys saying? The same Buhari knows that with him the kind of running freely, that the southeast will be able to defend themselves. He made sure that what? That he kidnapped and in fact he even sent some people to go and find the man in the house, and after that he kidnapped the man and put the man to prison today. That is why he silenced southeast. So what are you guys saying? You don't want us to call it Christian, let's call it Fulanization. And everybody is just saying as if this thing is just a common thing. And you people are blaming Donald Trump. Please come tomorrow. What are you guys saying? And all of you that is thinking this is not serious, may it happen to you guys' family. Because until it happens to your own family before you know that this thing is becoming serious. And I keep telling my Yoruba people, see, it's coming. In fact, they will be the ones to suffer it more. It is not a cause. Because it's coming there already. Because they have a common religion. Yes, because they are Muslim. There are a lot of Muslims in the Yoruba land. This is what is happening in Kwara now. Killings has happened day before yesterday. It's happening in Oyo State. It's happening in Osun State. It's going to continue happening. So if you don't want to call it Christian genocide, then call it Fulanization, and it's a Buhari game.
If a Muslim terrorist group like Boko Haram kills 1,000 people, and 900 of the 1,000 are Muslims, but only 100 are Christians, there is more attention. It will generate more controversy. It will generate more concern for 100 people that are Christians to be killed by a terror group that is Muslim in orientation than the 900 Muslims. You can't discard that as genocide because, well, they belong to the same faith. So at best, you can simply say conflict or killings. But when it involves somebody of another faith, because genocide itself means somebody who's being killed because of their faith. And let me tell you this again today, for anybody that is listening. The Muslims that Boko Haram is killing are Muslims they do not consider to be Muslims. But the Christians they kill are people that they are killing because they are Christians. This is the difference. If Boko Haram knows you are a Muslim or believes you are a Muslim, they won't kill you. But they don't believe that some of us that are not with them in Sambisa Forest are Muslims. So they equate us along with Christians as infidels and non-believers. This is the reality that the government itself should know.
I would want to say, to some extent, that what happened in Benue and Plateau, and it has been a recurring issue around those two states, and then to some extent, part of Kogi State that borders Benue, would rather qualify as genocide. Because predominantly, people living around that area are Christians. But why it is difficult to categorize it as genocide is the fact that was there an intent by these marauders to annihilate Christians? Was there an intent and purpose for them just because they want to obliterate Christianity and Christians that they went for that attack? Or they went for that attack to chase away indigenous people and take over their land for pastoring? So the intent, purpose would help us arrive at that conclusion if it was genocide or not. And as of today, these same marauders also kill in predominantly Muslim communities in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Borno. So it is difficult to call it genocide against Christians. But that does not mean that the optics from Benue, which is like a killing field, and Plateau will suggest that it's genocide. So, but generally, it's not something you can put your finger on, categorically say that it's genocide.
You see, Nigeria has long been invaded by not just one country, but 4 countries. 4 countries are actively in operations in Nigeria. So this resurgence we see of ISWAP, Boko Haram, Ansar, Dine, bandits, you think it's Nigerian forces, right? Or you think they are just some random villagers that suddenly discovered some massive amount of machine guns somewhere and they started bombing people, right? No, guys. If you are a very keen observer of global conflict, you should know that this is orchestrated from the outside. So the invasion has long taken place, and you don't expect US to come, with some weapons like they did in Iraq, like they did in Afghanistan, and start bombing over the sky. That is not what we should expect. That is not it at all. So anybody that is expecting to see some airstrikes coming to bomb and all those kind of things, and US boots on the ground, I think most of us are just making a very sensational thinking or assumption based on past experiences of the United States, interaction in the first part of the century. But that is no longer the way the US wage war against any country, no longer. Look at the crisis that is happening all over the world. See what happened in Syria. Do you think that al-Jolani was the one that staged this attack against Assad that resulted in him being metamorphosed into Ahmed al-Sharaa and becoming the president of Syria? So we should be very careful not to cause diplomatic row, especially that our top military commanders, especially the new service chiefs, were mostly US trained. Their tactical and strategic operations framework and studies and training is done by the US. So technically, they know how to operate and commandeer most of US weapons. So should we not create a very conducive environment where US weapons can continue to help us wage the war that is already being made against our country? Then we will render our military and our special forces ineffective in the war against terror in Nigeria. And that is truly when you will see the effect of invasion, when you cannot define the enemy. Is a guerrilla, is coming with a masked face as a terrorist, and you have nothing and nowhere to report him. So it is very important for us to be very careful in the way we do that. Also, the government handling of the entire situation is completely amateurish. You can't be doing media diplomacy. Everybody is just throwing every statement from everywhere, within the government communication machine, and all those things, full of sycophancy, but then trying to show as though that diplomacy is helping. Diplomacy is not done that way. Before US can designate Nigeria as country of particular concern, they have built an archive and database of something that has been happening since Jonathan regime. In fact, since 2009. In fact, fact, to say the truth, it is the same people within our government in the APC that when I reported the genocide against Christians first in 2014 to Washington, D.C., to the State Department. So now that the whole thing is coming back again, we should be very mindful not to be deemed, to be responsible for what we accuse others of. So therefore, jumping around media diplomacy is causing more damage, to the effort to bring about peace. And that quarrying and causing diplomatic row between Nigeria and the United States now is much more dangerous to us, considering the fact that our military only know U.S. weapons, than continue to confront them. So therefore, confrontation doesn't make sense. In case if you have ever been in the simulation class, you should know that if U.S. want to invade Nigeria, it doesn't take more than 72 hours to degovern the country. So we don't need to be overly sensational about this issue. We have to apply highest level of wisdom, responsible approach, proper diplomacy, and trying to make sure that this issue does not escalate beyond what we can control. Yes, we are patriots. Yes, we want to protect our sovereignty, but damage has been done, and we have to fix this damage with a very, very responsible approach so that we don't go and cause more damage while thinking we are trying to fix damages. So some of our religious leaders and our influencers that are making sensational statements accusing United States, calling Donald Trump names, we need to be very careful. I have been staunch supporter of Pan-Africanism. I have always stood against American hegemonic imperial agenda. But on this particular matter that affects my own country, I want us to apply wisdom. I want us to apply responsibility, and I want us to apply pragmatism if we truly want to succeed in trying to prevent ourselves from the looming danger that is already on our doorsteps. Thank you.
Yes, it's so funny how people is already attacking Donald Trump for making a statement that is going to send troops to Nigeria to attack Boko Haram and the people that is committing Christian genocide. And I don't know if it's because they use the word Christian genocide that is making some paid Nigerian media, especially the Saboteur, the Judas, and also those ones that I can see as the people supporting this agenda of Christian genocide. Maybe it's the word Christian genocide that is provoking them. Because I've not seen anything that Donald Trump said that is wrong. Donald Trump did not say he's coming today. He didn't say he's coming tomorrow. He didn't say he's coming next tomorrow. He didn't even say he's coming this year or next year. He said he will only come if Nigeria government refuse to stop this killing and if the killing continues. So what are you people saying? If you think you have any problem, you don't want Donald Trump to come, then beg your Nigerian government to stop this killing. That is all of us are praying for. Nigerian government have the military, the capacity to flush these people out. Burkina Faso is doing it already. But because they don't want to, because it's an agenda.
It's not about reputation. It's about the reality of what is going on in your country. How other people are framing what is going on in your country is one thing. The reality of what is going on, the people of Nigeria that are being killed, that is a different thing.
Either Christian or Muslim. It's a fact.
And I listen to people saying, oh, no, it's actually Muslims that have been, more Muslims have been killed. Seriously? So it does not matter. I heard Governor Wike saying that his father was a Christian, the president's wife was a Christian, and nobody is accusing this government of persecuting Christians.
Or religious bigotry.
So they are missing the point. And that is usually the case. They miss the point because they think any form of criticism is an attack on them. They don't listen. And they have demonstrated historical incompetence. So, you see, the Yorubas call some people amunibuni. I don't know how to translate it in English. I mean, they are
literally. You're saying that someone who makes others to insult you or to embarrass you.
To embarrass you.
So that's the kind of government
we have. That's the kind of government we have. You see, for us,
could that be a good portrayal or a fair representation of this government?
We believe so because, like I was trying to say, for us, we are not seeing it as political opportunism, unlike them, right? We feel embarrassed as Nigerians that outsiders are framing our security challenge along these lines that can only further divide us.
Don't we have Christians in the western parts of the country? Do we experience that? No. That's the more reason they need to be diplomatic. By that statement, we are coming to attack terrorists in Nigeria. It's a different ballgame when you mention we are coming to attack the Muslim terrorists.
Islamic jihadists.
Jihadists. It's a very specific statement.
Do we have other terrorist groups in Nigeria?
I'm saying, considering the antecedents of how Americans have gone to other parts of the world, and they have failed. They have gone to Afghanistan, they have failed. They're left with heavy problem in that other part of
That was
the
the
world.
ideological problem.
And then, whether we like it or not, they went there, they failed. They went to Afghanistan, they failed. They went to Libya, they failed. We look at all these antecedents, and then considering the fact that this country is just a growing country, it's a developing country. I agree with the provisions of the Constitution, particularly Section 10 of the Constitution, that states that no states shall adopt state religion. But you see that some parts of about 10 states in the north, they have not even for a long time ago, for more than 20 years now, is now the part and parcel of their system. And then you see that the government will continue to pamper these people. They are honoring and romancing with them on a daily basis. It's wrong. And I also agree with President Donald Trump to an extent. I love what is happening because it's putting more pressure on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because if you look at the build-up towards the election that usher in the late President Muhammadu Buhari and others, you see series of statements from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There's a lot of pressure on the then President Jonathan. Heaven will fall. Jonathan is running the kindergarten, this government, this and that. The same person is in power now.
Interesting you mentioned this. In 2014, some governors went to the United States of America to complain about genocidal, well, that wasn't the word used there, but complain about Christians being killed in Nigeria in their numbers in 2014. Why didn't we see that as a problem? Why is it a problem now that Christians are crying out that they are being killed in Nigeria? It wasn't a problem in 2014, just before elections. The figures at that time are even higher than what we've experienced in the first half of this year. Why was it
It's not the same people. They are using it for political reasons. Is it not the same Bola Ahmed that led the team then? He led the team. He used the social media forum for their selfish interests. And that is a government that demolished Jonathan administration and then usher in the then president.
Any desire to end what is going on now?
The government have failed. If you ask me to rate this government, I will rate them 0/10 in all aspects. Is it a government that is bent on inflicting hardship on Nigerians? Is that a government? Is it a government that failed to protect people in line with the provisions of the Constitution? Is that what you call a government? That is total failure. And then I'm saying that the president should resign forthwith. Because if you cannot protect properties and life, what are you there for? Because there must be life first before you can even say you want to govern people. So the government have failed woefully. I'm in support of what is happening. I love the pressure from the United States of America. All right. Next extent.
Welcome back. I know a lot of you guys have watched and listened to what every one of these people have said concerning the issue we are having in this country. Although we don't know, say they are trying to Fulanize this country. Their agenda is to Fulanize this country called Nigeria. Because if you know how everything starts playing right from when Buhari was in power, you know that they were the people who brought all these guys to this country in the name of Fulanization and many other things that they had then. You know, their own plan was to make sure Nigeria was Fulanized. Those same people who they brought to this country now are the same people who are causing the issue between the Christian and the Muslim. If you carefully understand what is really going on now, you know that it is the same people who Buhari brought then that are still terrorizing in Nigeria. You know, many of us know Many people were aware of what was happening during the 2015 election. No, it's okay. Most of us, we don't know how everything just go. You understand? But you get some people who say, okay, as them even they see, they no one talk. That is the reason why this issue keep going on day by day. You know, the problem is, okay, we Nigerians have, we know the value any current president will be okay we they normally get. You know, we they always kick against any president will be okay we get. That is the reason why we are suffering today. If you understand when Goodluck Jonathan was in power, you know, Goodluck try as much as he can to make sure he clear all these guys claiming to be terrorists in this country, but only him could not do that. But they used that opportunity to take him out, and that is what make us where we are today. You know, if you see the way everyone is suffering in this country, you know that the problem now that we are facing is not going to finish anymore. It's not as if, okay, me, I'm just trying to see, to lay cuts on this country. But the way it is going, it will be hard for the problem that we are facing in this country to finish, because you as a citizen too, you are part of the problem that everyone is currently going, because most of you guys don't even know the leaders that is good, the leaders that have your interest. You just go to suit your leaders by tribe and by whatsoever. That is why we are where we are today. And the only thing that is going to solve this issue is when every one of us came down, come together, announcing that enough is enough. If not, this issue will never finish. That is just it. And for those of you guys that have something to say concerning this issue going on here, if you have anything to say, you should drop what you have to say below. And also, if today is your first time, make a like, share, subscribe. Thank you.